Well, hello, my loves. How are y'all doing? Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I hope y'all are having a super great day and feel all the love that you deserve. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. Hello, Miss Rhonda. Hi, Brown Eyed Girls. How are you doing? Hi, Miss Kathy. Let's see. We got YouTuber. Hello, beautiful. How are you? Hey, Bo. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Hi, Mari. How are you doing? Thank you for being here, everyone. Hi, Pink Warrior. How are you? I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Hey, Chit Chat. Hope you're well today. There's TJ. TJ is very busy this weekend. Thank you for being here, TJ. And you won't believe who just went live. Hey, Mary. How are you? Hi, Carla. Hello, Ruby Marie. How are you? R. Taylor, how are you doing? I hope your son is improving and doing good. I do. Mary. Hi, Crafting and True Crime. How are you? Thank you all for being here. I'm so excited to have y'all with me today. Yes, Carla's horrible, isn't it? Hi, Dreamer. How are you doing? Good to have you here. Let's see. Anybody else sneak in? There's Sky. Hi, Sky Maiden. How are you? Thanks for coming in with us. Let's see. Hi, Mickey. How are you? In the shape of a heart. Hello, hello. Hi, Rose and Robbie. Thank y'all for being here. Hi, Sandy T. How are you? Good deal. We got us a good house full here. Oh, we all do, Carla. I wake up every day, and the first thing I do is look at my phone, just saying, Lord, please let today be the day. New blood work was to the sodium level 2 days ago. I had a oh, goodness. We're still praying. He's still on my list. Oh, well, welcome. Thank you, Sky Maiden. Welcome to the channel. So glad you're chatting with us. And thank you for enjoying our content over here. We appreciate you being part of us. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we have a really good chat here. Everybody is so respectful. I am so proud of my whole channel and everybody else that are listening, anybody that comes in on replay. Thank y'all. And happy Valentine's Day. Yes. Hi, Holly. How are you doing? And there's Tina. Happy Valentine's Day. There's Matthew. Hello, brother. How you doing? Hope you're well. Happy Valentine's Day. I did a little post on my Facebook page, put all the grandbabies up there. My niece's 2 kids or 3 kids, they're like my grandbabies. So I added them on there and just did a happy Valentine's, my little loves. They are my Valentines. So we're all here for Sebastian's Valentine's. That's right. Bless his little heart. I just wish he was with somebody that really cares. And I don't know, guys. I'm 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 so torn. I want him to be alive and well. But it really has been a long time. And if somebody has him, it has got to be horribly hard to keep him disguised and out of anybody's eyesight. And on top of that, medical records, they would have to have his medical records. So I don't know how it can be possible this long, but it happens all the time. It happens all the time, unfortunately. And I don't know. I am very confident in my opinion when I say that his mother and his stepfather definitely know what happened, where he's at, because they have not made the efforts to look for him like his father has. And if you're not looking for something, then you must know where it is, right? Just his mother alone should be looking. It's like, if his stepdad don't want to look, okay, so be it. But the mother, she shouldn't be pleading the fifth and have a criminal lawyer. She should be looking for her child if she didn't know where he was. She would be fighting everything, everyone, to try to find him and get to him. So it doesn't sound well just from their actions alone. And so it's just very disheartening to think about it all. Yeah, and then they go hire the private investigator. Yeah. And all the little games that are played, they're putting stuff out just to make Seth look bad. It's so obvious they're trying to take the spotlight off of themselves. Hey, September Virgo, happy Valentine's Day to you, beautiful. Thank you for being here. Hi, Donna. How are you? Yes, Tina, it's almost a year. We are getting so close. Hi, Brianna's World. How are you doing? Yeah, we are not far from being a year. And that's something I wished we wouldn't even be close to. And I honestly believe that if his parents, his mother, his stepfather, the parents that he was living with, the one parent that was with him when he went missing, if we had them speak the truth from day one, we would not be sitting here talking about Sebastian at all. And so with that, here we are. Because of that, here we are. But you know what? We'll be here. Yeah, frustration is now an understatement. Yes, very much so. I'm telling y'all, Seth is having a hard time. Justin has told me, personally through messages and stuff, that Seth is really having a bad time right now. And as that year mark gets closer, it's not going to get better for him. Like I said yesterday, he still is holding on to that hope. He might have grief, that he's battling right now, but he has hope. And if there is no hope, he still has a whole nother process to make it through. Hi, Ida and Sandy. Oh, I said Sandy T already. Hey. Yeah, I feel so bad for him. y'all just keep him in your prayers because his road is very, very rough. But, I get angry and mad because it could be prevented. He shouldn't have to go through this. And yet, the mother of his own child is allowing that to happen. And to me, that makes it worse for him. It just adds more to his grief. It's just, it's sad. Very, very sad. Yeah. I don't know, Donna, if the vigil is going to be streamed or not. A lot of times they don't let cameras and stuff in. So it's a protection thing because they don't want it to turn into a circus. But yet, here we are that can't make it. We would like to be a little bit of a part of it, So I don't know. It's a double-edged sword on that one because if they let everybody just come in and stream and all that, you're going to have all the haters there. You're going to have all the bad side, I would say, come in and make a joke of all of it. And that's not something anyone needs that's attending. So we got to have respect for that at least. But I don't know, guys. Hey, Narita, how are you? Thanks for being here. And we have all these troll accounts. And guys, I'm just going to straight up tell you, there are several that I would lay money on the table that I don't even have. But I would, if I had money, lay it on the table and say, hey, look, this is Chris. This is part of their gang over there. It's so obvious. But, they turn it into a game. That's playing a game with people. And there's nothing funny about it. It's not a game. It's a child's life. Where is he? It is. It's so crazy on some of the accounts. Yeah. Oh, I tell you. It's crazy, isn't it? Hi, Carla. Clues cousins with Chris. I heard it. Okay, Carla, this is from what I understand. Hey, Celine. Welcome. There is his sister, Melissa. She's married to a man, and his last name is the same as Clue's fiance. I have heard, doesn't mean it's true, but I've heard that Clue's fiance, no, rewind. I got that all screwed up, didn't I? No. Everybody just blank. Go blank. Clue's ex-husband is a RSO, was in jail. He got out 2 days after Sebastian went missing. Doesn't have nothing to do with any of it. His last name is the same as Chris's brother-in-law, Melissa's husband. I have heard those two are brothers. I don't know that that's true. I don't know if they're cousins or even related. But the last name is very weird, not something that's common. But those two possibly are related. So when she was married to her ex-husband, there could have been that type of connection there. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I can't say that for sure, but it's sure that's Sandy. That's what I've been told. He's the brother of Melissa's husband. Yeah. They do have the same last names. Yeah, YouTuber. Very unusual surname. Very unusual. So, yeah. And, they're turning that into a big joke like it's nothing, but everybody's going to assume it. I don't know. They play jokes and make jokes and, yeah, Donna. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Not blood related. I will say that. If they are related, it's through an in-laws family. Does that make sense? So I don't know if but there is no blood relationship. No. They do live in the same towns. So, yeah, they make everything a joke. Everything a joke. It's crazy. So, anyways, well, guys, we have another dance tonight. It's a Valentine's dance. And she got asked to the dance again. So, woohoo. I'm going to have to get off of here after a while so we can do the dance pictures and get her hair and makeup fixed. So, we better get started. High reserve glitching. Happy Valentine's Day. Hey, Lori, how are you? Glad you're here. Yeah, she's excited. She was talking last night. She keeps saying, brown eyed girls. No, there has been nothing, guys, that I have heard on the remains that were found out in that foresty area. None found. I mean, nothing has been said on what's been found. And I keep looking. Hi, Holly. Holy moly. Sorry. Happy Valentine's Day. You don't have to stay in the bushes. We're not going to bite. Yeah, but yeah, she's excited. She was telling me yesterday. I said, "What are you going to wear?" And she said, "A crop top." I'm like, "Is your daddy not going to be here?" She laughed. She said, "I'm still wearing one." I was like, okay. It's a missing man. Okay. See, I haven't seen that. She says, Crafting said, "I see you posted on Facebook today. It's a missing man." Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's going to take time for the DNA to process. And I knew that would take a while. But usually they say if it's like a child or a man or a woman, that kind of thing. But I've not heard anything. But if it's a man, you you kind of want it to be, but then again, you kind of don't want it to be. It was an adult. Okay, Robbie, thank you. So, yeah. Oh, okay. YouTuber says allegedly there was a man missing from the same road as where the remains were found. Okay. Okay. See, I've been looking, but I hadn't seen nothing yet. But yes, definitely, Carla, prayers for that family. Unfortunately, there are so many people missing, but when you are focused in on a particular story and person, you get really nervous. Is Star Child in here? Hey, Star Child, how are you? Yes, we're gonna talk. We're gonna listen right now. We're fixing to listen. Oh my goodness, there's another person missing. Oh man. But we're fixing to listen to Crime Lines and Lies. And this is 9 months ago. But I'm going back and we're going to listen to it. Y'all might have already listened to it, but for those who haven't, you're going to hear what the neighbors have to say and some of the things they've seen and how Sebastian was treated and what they know of the family. It just, for those of y'all who have not heard. Oh, good, Carla. We had a really good time last night over on Cher's panel. Yes. Yeah, it was a good camaraderie there and everything. Hi, Cheryl. But for those of you who haven't heard this is good information. It helps us understand what Sebastian's life was like. And it gives us a little insight into how he was treated. And that's like yesterday when we were listening to the Matt guy that worked with Mr. Bowersox. We saw exactly how he felt about Sebastian. And this is going to be the same way. And it is very sad. Very sad. Oh, so here we go. I'm going to get this going. I'm going to stop the camera so y'all won't see me drinking my Pepsi or doing my vape. And I am going to put up a banner for copyright purposes because we will be using this under the Fair Use Act. And we're going to put on a little bit of music just while we play this to have a little background noise. Let's see if that's too loud. I'm going to go a little. There we go. All right. Here we go, guys. Be ready. It's very sad.
And good morning, my friends, and TGIF. Welcome to Friday. We have a lot of stuff going on today. Got our girl Chloe Jade backstage. We are expecting a special guest, so please hang tight. And sometimes we know that people get busy. Sometimes people are like, yeah, I don't want to get involved. Either way, no harm, no foul. Let's take a second and tell everyone happy Friday. You guys have been chatting in here. And look at that. Pat K just gifted a Crime Lines and Laws membership. What am I going to do with you girls? Welcome your neighbor. So glad you're here and so glad it is finally Friday. I'm just really hoping that this weather cooperates this weekend. Well, you know what they say, April showers bring May flowers. Well, how you gonna mow? My goodness. And it's not even April anymore, so calm down. All right, without further ado, I'm going to bring up our friend Chloe Jade. And we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Woo, girlfriend, we had a busy day yesterday, did we not?
Yes, we did. Hey guys, I'm so happy to be here with you, Brooks.
Yeah. DT driver said, yay, Chloe's here. He gets sick of hearing my voice all the time. All right, so I did give a sneak peek to the members. We're going to go through it today. Let's go through some of our conversation we had with, well, a couple of the neighbors yesterday. What struck you as the most disturbing? One neighbor we talked to has lived there for 13 years. He said the Proud Feets have been there for 2 years and doesn't seem to have any love loss for no-ass Chris Proudfoot. So what really bothered you about what we were told?
Well, the first thing was the way that Sebastian was treated that was seen outside the house, some things that we were told, like being sprayed with the pressure washer till he had a meltdown. I thought it was awful.
And let's elaborate on that.
Okay.
Because, I mean, not everybody was on the phone call.
Yes.
Chris Proudfeet was outside and he had a pressure washer and he was spraying down the fifth wheel. Sebastian came outside, I guess, wanting to do outside things. And he started screaming at him, cussing him out, and he hosed him down with the pressure washer. Now, I don't know about you guys, but those things hurt.
Guys, put yourself in Sebastian's shoes right at that moment. I mean, to tell a kid to go back in the house or something is one thing. Yelling at them, that's one thing. But to spray them down with a pressure washer, there is force behind that water, and it will actually cut your skin. Why would anyone do that to a child? Of course, later we hear from Chris that never happened. But they have actually talked to the person that saw it with their own eyes.
We use them to clean off the house. We have to turn it down to low just to wash a car because they'll take the paint off of a car. All right, go ahead, Chloe. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. So that scenario right there really, really bugged me. The fact that a couple of the questions that I asked, I don't know, because you asked so many questions, but like the fact was Chris Proudfoot really gone that whole month? Like he says he was. And he said, and we were told no.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big question for me too, because that's something I've never really believed or knew if I believed. He only spoke about Sebastian as Katie's son. He never called him his son to anyone else or even his stepson.
Mm-hmm.
And we've heard how he speaks about him as he's my son, like those sort of things, just kind of debunking a lot of confirming a lot of the behavior and actions we've seen by Chris Proudfoot, and then debunking some of the things that we've all known were lies. Don't you think?
Well, because, no, you're exactly right. Because he's only trying to convince people now because Sebastian is missing. And there's a lot to go through. Now, we've had 3 different neighbors. We had a long conversation with one yesterday that said, no, normally he would cut out of work early on Thursday and then leave out either Sunday night or early Monday morning. And the pressure washer thing happened in February. My question is, and don't get me wrong, some people say, well, February is too cold. You have a lot of nice temperatures in February. It's like a baby spring. Anyway, why?
It really doesn't matter when it happened. What matters is that it did happen. That's my opinion.
That one weekend was Mr. Proudfeet away.
Right. And why lie about it and say that you've been away for a month, which has made us all suspicious of that in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why was Seth alienated for a month?
Exactly.
Okay. It was said by one of the neighbors that Chris Proudfoot, when asked about Sebastian, of course, we know that he would kind of pick on him. I'll put it that way. He said at school, they call him Mr. Piss Pants. That's the reason Sebastian wore a pull-up. When one neighbor was asking about Sebastian, he said, that's Katie's retard.
Oh.
The same words that Chris's stepfather used. He freely used it. The stepfather that today would tell us how much he misses him, how he wants to find him, all the things to make himself look like a wonderful stepfather, a great stepfather. This is the truth, guys.
Now, that really, really upset me.
Yeah, me too. I mean, how disrespectful and disgusting to speak like that. It breaks my heart.
And I don't believe for a minute that the neighbors are making it up. And it's 10 times worse than we even thought. Sebastian likes to eat things like sushi, tofu, things like that. And so one time, now mind you, Chris Proudfoot was never invited. Well, he was once, okay?
Yes.
To a neighborhood picnic. Let's talk about that, Chloe.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We should definitely explain that. So Chris Proudfoot was disliked by the neighbors so much to the point where when they had neighborhood cookouts and stuff, they did not invite him. He was only invited one time. And he was aggressive and not nice to anybody. So nobody wanted him around. And then, yeah, you tell him what he said about Sebastian. It's horrible.
He even said to one of the neighbors when Child Protective Services was, coming around, he said to Katie, where people could hear it, he goes or I go.
Mm-hmm.
Their last visit, he said, this marriage is not going to work out. Well, go figure. He hasn't had a marriage work out yet.
Yeah.
The last visit from CPS, we know was the end of January. We know that Chris has not been home since the first part of February. Sebastian goes missing weeks after he says he goes or I go. This marriage is not going to work. Who can sit here and tell me that is incriminating words weeks before a child goes missing? He goes or I go. Ultimatum. My question to Katie is, did you choose? Did you make your choice, Katie? Is that why Sebastian was never seen leaving his home? That he's no longer anywhere to be found?
Yeah, right.
And they've roughly been there about 2 years. Because one of the neighbors we talked to yesterday said, we've been here for 13 years. He's like, I'm like 45 seconds, from the house. He's like, I walk by there all the time.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm hoping that they just sell the house and move. Because he's like, they've been here about 2 years. And his biggest complaints seem to be about Chris Proudfoot.
Absolutely. So, that was the main, everything he had to say, that person was about Chris. And it shed a lot of light onto his behavior.
Well, and he had an issue with things that Sebastian preferred to eat. One was sushi and tofu. And it was explained that Chris Proudfoot is very homophobic. And he would tell him, that's what faggots eat. That's why they were so hell-bent on the Texas Roadhouse. Well,
guys, everything we hear that he said, that people have heard him say, makes it almost as if he actually believes that one of those camps where they can beat it out of him or work it out of him is the place where Chris really probably wanted Sebastian to go to. As if you can actually beat or work a child to the bone so that they change who they are. It doesn't happen like that. And people who actually believe that are ignorant, in my opinion.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I can't believe that you would even use that word. That is just a gross word to even use, in my opinion. And then to say that about food, come on. I love sushi. I mean, we all do. A lot of us. And eating healthy is something that was important to Sebastian's diet, in my assumption, due to his health-related issues. So, I don't know.
Well, and the thing is, I totally believe that Chris uses that word all the time, because when he contacted me about me saying words like moobs and no ass, he called me a faggot.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Now, the CPS engagement was not because of the belt whipping.
Mm-hmm.
It actually has to do with the mattress. All right, Chloe, this is a lot.
Yeah, this is.
So, Chris took his mattress, Sebastian's, out of his room because he said, I'm sick of smelling piss, and put it in the garage. When Sebastian was talking about how he sleeps in the garage at school, CPS showed up and they actually asked the neighbors, have you seen this? Help me out here, Chloe, because that's a lot for me to digest.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot.
So Sebastian told people at school that he was sleeping in the garage. Make that make sense, guys.
A lot to even take in. Yeah, he asked, they asked other people, and they confirmed, and a neighbor we talked to confirmed that he was made to sleep in the garage, and he had heard him yelling about smelling piss, is his words. And, you know, we all know that it was very cold there the night that he went missing. And think about the other nights leading up to that through the whole winter, that if he was made to sleep out there. And what child who, I would believe I would be scared in that situation to live with a man like that. And I could understand, you know, if a child has disabilities and certain things that, you know, accidents can happen. If you're scared,
sure.
If you're being mistreated, if you're being abused. I mean, if you didn't get at Seth's house.
I'm 48 years old. I don't trust a fart.
Yeah.
We can all have accidents. I mean, it's so degrading. And Sebastian comes outside thinking that he's just going to spend some quality time with his stepdaddy, and he hoses him down with the pressure washer, and that shit hurts.
Yes.
And to the point where the neighbors said Sebastian was having a total meltdown.
Yes, and Katie had to come get him because he had a total meltdown from it.
And Chris yelled, "Get your retard."
Yep. Wow. It's just, this is what the neighbors saw. Think about what happened inside behind closed doors. He has no shame whatsoever to act like this in front of everyone, to go on panels and be disrespectful and say the things he says. I mean, imagine how awful this person really is. If this is what people just around the neighborhood saw.
And whether it was caught on camera, I don't know, because one neighbor we talked to said he has 6 or 7 cameras around his house. I know the next door neighbor who does not want to go on the record.
Yes.
He has several cameras, and they said they just got cameras 3 weeks ago. They had people over putting up cameras because they said they were being harassed, and they said we saw those people in the neighborhood. Let's just get to the recording. Also, for those of you that are wondering, the price of 12 eggs in China is it would be $2.20 US dollars. I'll put it right there because I don't exactly know their currency. Look at that. Can't say the price of tea in China.
I know.
Let's take a second, and we've got some gifts coming in, you all. Thank you, Southern Grammy Wolf, for the super sticker. Thank you to Jules and Pat and TCB for gifting memberships. Now, when they did have one like barbecue in the neighborhood, okay, all Chris did was get drunk and get into it with people and say, I wear a size 14 boot.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
He's disgusting.
Well, then how come all of your ex-wives say you have a little pecker?
Right?
How are you going to have that kind of boat-looking feet and have a little pecker?
Yeah, at his height. That's crazy.
You don't have no 14
yeah.
shoes. If he does, he's stuffing Walmart bags in it.
Yeah, right? That's right.
Size 14 boot. All right, Chloe, because yesterday was we had a lot going on. Woo, thanks for hanging in there with me. So let's get to it. And yes, recorded with permission.
They asked for our actually ring cam footage. They asked for the camera footage. Everyone turned it over. I don't know what or if there's anything on, say, like my neighbors or something, or the people down the street, because I mean, let's put it this way. It's a very, I don't want to put down actually law enforcement, but it's very, I mean, I think the best way to say it is they're very hard-headed right here. And I mean, do I think they're just...
Okay, look at me interrupting already. What he's explaining, and this is when I said, is it okay if I record all this so I don't forget anything? And he said, yeah, go ahead. He's talking about when law enforcement was going house to house to house to house, and they wanted to know who had any camera footage.
Just sitting back and they're doing nothing? Absolutely not. I mean, do I think they're investigating it and they're doing stuff that we don't know? Yeah. But,
what do you think about them saying it's not a criminal investigation? So what are they investigating?
It has to be. No. Yeah, I mean, that's what we all talked about. That's what a bunch of us, all of my neighbors, that's what we all said. We said, it just doesn't make, it just doesn't make sense that it's not a criminal investigation, because you have a missing, that's a 15-year-old. And I mean, outside of the searches that were done by, I don't want to give names, but it was a big, it was a big actual chaos. It was big schemes with a bunch of things. And I believe that, I believe this, if we have a kid missing, or if my kids are grown, but let's just say if you had one of my kids that was missing, that was 14, 15 years old, where is the search? I mean, they scaled back the search to where there's almost no search. And I just don't get it.
What did you think about them searching the landfill?
Okay, there are two different areas where the trash actually goes. One, it goes to Nashville, and the second, it goes to Kentucky. So now you have commercial, we will go to Kentucky. And now, but you do have some that if we have ours, it goes to Nashville. But them searching it is something. I'm just trying to see if there's, I'll say it this way. You have a lot of job sites. their material, it goes to Kentucky.
Okay, Chloe, let's talk about the importance of this.
Okay.
So I asked him, I said, what did you think about them searching the landfill? And he explained it.
Mhm.
You have, like, I'm just going to say regular garbage, but if it's commercial or construction related, it goes up to Kentucky. That's the landfill they searched. And we know that there's a reason for it.
Absolutely.
What did you think about that?
I don't know what there was. I don't know if it had to do with that construction site, and I'm wondering if something, he was put in something there. That was my thought, but I don't know, because they had to have something if they went there to search.
Mm-hmm. Nobody in there.
So at the very beginning, we started hearing how the trash worker said that when he picked up the garbage, it was very heavy, a lot more so than normal. And so is that the reason they got the warrant to where they could search the landfill? I don't know. But in my opinion, with there not being any cameras in the house, and others have stated that there were cameras in the house, I wonder if that could be what they were looking for. Because if something happened in that home, you would not want it seen on camera. And we've been told there was no cameras inside the home. None were working on the outside. But we've also been told there were, before Sebastian went missing, cameras inside the home.
In their right mind, law enforcement, regular people, YouTubers, whatever, are going to go to a landfill and search. And he explained it. He's like, it's because it's commercial, and we know there is some construction businesses.
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly.
And you don't just search a landfill in a whim. You're not going to do it.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay, that makes sense. So, I mean, when were you aware that Sebastian was missing? And by the way, can you come on the show tomorrow? I can just email you the link.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm not going to put your name out there. We're just going to have a conversation because this is for Sebastian.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay. We found out at about, now, I'm an early riser.
Me
so
too.
I'm up 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like I told you inside my email, I did 24 years, and I'm a fighter pilot, which I'm retired now, but I get up at 4, and we found out when we seen the whole area starting to swarmed at probably about 10 to 7. And that's when they started searching around. And that's when they started, like, if you go in the back, you have honeysuckle, which from actually Stafford to it's honeysuckle, you really can't see, but it's the side back, and they started searching, and that's where it started. So that's about the time frame, which I would say is about probably 10 to 7 or somewhere right near 7. And
so it takes, from the time she tells him at 6:03, Sebastian's missing, it takes law enforcement close to an hour, just shy of an hour, to get there and start searching. That is crazy to me. If a child's missing, everyone's going to be hauling butt to get there to start searching, especially a child who does have autism. It makes you wonder if that phone call did not really go in right away like they portrayed it to, but later at about 6:36 when the dispatch call went out that morning. Because like I've said before, most places that you call to report something, while you're on the phone with them, dispatch is relaying all the information out to law enforcement.
This is AM. This isn't. That's actually that timeline. But now, it's just a mystery.
Okay, and we're going to get to this. Okay. 10 till 7 is when basically hell broke loose. That's the reason I was saying yesterday there's a big difference between 6 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. And I think anyone that sticks their neck out and speaks publicly on the record should be respected. All right?
I do too.
So he's saying 10 till 7 is when they started noticing the activity. That tells me a lot. Thank you guys for the gifted memberships. I cannot believe you girls today and guys. So we've heard she went to wake him up at 6:30. We've heard she went to wake him up at 6 a.m. Mm-hmm. But he's saying at about 10 till 7 is when the activity started in the neighborhood.
Right.
Law enforcement went door to door to door to door, wanting camera footage.
Yeah, right away.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's trying to figure it out. But now I can say from just being a neighbor, which your friendly neighbor, he's not the type of person that I associate with. And I say that because
You mean Chris Proudfoot?
Yes. He's very loud, and it has to be right, and he has to be right, or you have the whole conversation is basically done with. Mm-hmm. And he does.
Well, we've heard that, haven't we? It's Mr. Chris's way or no way. He's going to make sure that the conversation goes the way he wants it. We've all heard that.
Which I don't drink, but he does drink. Now, did I witness any? No, I know. But my friend's daughter, she works in actually Texas Roadhouse. She doesn't know that now. She wasn't working the night that they went in, but she had seen them in there the 2 weeks before that, and something that Sebastian wanted, or I don't know exactly if it was something that they didn't serve, or I'm not 100%, but he got from, now this is just hearsay part, is that he got very angry and they ended up leaving. And it was 2 weeks.
Now, who got angry? Sebastian got angry? Katie got angry? The staff got angry? Who got angry?
No, it was Chris who got angry.
Oh, I thought he wasn't home the whole month of February. Oh, this is interesting. Okay.
No.
He said, no. So a woman that works at the Texas Roadhouse, for whatever reason, Dum-Dum, I guess, didn't like his tater tots or something, and he got real angry because I said, now who are we talking about? The wait staff? We're talking about Sebastian? Katie? No, it's Chris that got all pissed off in the restaurant. And then, of course, we go into his regular schedule. Question is, why wasn't he home that weekend? That
Right. And why lie about the fact that he hadn't been home that whole month, too? I mean, that still doesn't make sense. And then that weekend, he's just not there. I mean, there's no way this wasn't pre-planned. I don't know, in my opinion. I can't see chat, and people might disagree with me, but I just really believe that this was, like, coming to a head.
I think we're all on the same page here. And if anybody has any questions about law enforcement and what they know, the neighbors have been heavily spoken to. So 2 weeks before, they're at the Texas Roadhouse, and Chris has one of his good old shit fits. Listen to it again.
And something that Sebastian wanted, or I don't know exactly if it was something that they didn't serve, or I'm not 100%, but he got from, now this is just hearsay part, is that he got very angry and they ended up leaving.
2 weeks before Sebastian went missing. And Mr. Chris tells us in his words that he wasn't there. He had not seen Sebastian since the 1st of February. But just 2 weeks prior, they're at Texas Roadhouse eating. Why all the lies? Why not tell the truth? Why not be honest about the whole situation? And people wonder why we look sideways at the mother and the stepfather. This is why. This is why.
And this was 2 weeks.
Now, who got angry? Sebastian got angry? And the reason I ask this question is, who got so angry that they up and left the restaurant, the Texas Roadhouse, 2 weeks before? He said it was something Sebastian wanted, and he said it was Chris that got so upset. They got angry and left. Something Sebastian wanted. Well, God forbid he wants an extra roll or he wants some dessert. How many of you have been at a restaurant where your child wants to order the whole damn menu?
Yes, Rhonda. Rhonda puts out 3 weeks prior to Sebastian going missing, Chris was at the school meeting for Sebastian. The next week, they're at Texas Roadhouse having dinner as a family. But remember, guys, Mr. Chris had not seen Sebastian since the 1st of February. Make it make sense, because it doesn't.
Many times.
Yeah. You're in public. You're not going to have a meltdown and come unglued. No. Katie got angry. The staff got angry. Who got angry?
No, it was Chris who got angry.
Oh, I thought he wasn't home the whole month of February. Oh, this is interesting. Okay.
No. He would leave. Now, you know he has a fifth wheel, okay? Now, I'm gonna have to look at the date from 2 weeks from the day before, because that's when they were in there. Now, he would come home sometimes on the weekends, and that's when he would get that's when they would get like a bunch of stuff done. And then he would take off again, and he would go back, and then he would be gone. But that's what happened. Now, it's just, I mean, I'm trying to put a timeline. Like, I mean, he basically had me and my wife, we've been scratching our heads saying, well, is there something that, but it's just things that you just can't, I mean, it's just things that we don't know. Now, I will tell you this. Now, I mean, I know from experience, and because I have family members, you have my brother-in-law, actually, he's a lawyer, but I can tell you this. They have been getting, I can't say every day because I don't watch every day, but I have to pass to actually go into town that way, but for the last 45 days, I would say every other day, they've been, it's actually not detectives, I think they're getting regular visits by, it has to be actually their attorney. So, I don't know.
Oh, that would make sense. Okay, all right.
So guys, we know that there for a while, 11 times, they had people come out and go into the backyard. Look at the backyard, survey the backyard, take pictures in the backyard. 11 different times they went to the backyard. Conveniently, if you all remember, that's the same area where the flashlights come from and go back to the backyard.
Law enforcement followed up with you or any of your neighbors recently?
No. I mean, the only thing they did was they actually took the ring. Footage, and I have 6 cameras on actually my house. Well, actually 4, and then there's 2, but it's 6, and they actually downloaded it, which didn't show anything, and but we've had nothing else. I mean, we didn't have there hasn't been a recanvass, or like there hasn't knocked on the door and said, have you thought of this, or have you, it's basically been quiet.
Well, I can see what my neighbors, are doing around our neighborhood. So, I couldn't tell you if anything was unusual, let's say if somebody around here went missing. But did you notice anything unusual that weekend? Was there like a lot more activity in their home or what? Because obviously something went down because Sebastian's missing.
Yeah, oh no, yeah, that's for sure. And then to think that there's no scent. Now,
that's because Chris said the dogs are credible and they're dishonest.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Yes, we've all heard Mr. Chris say that the dogs are not very reliable, that, they use them, but they're not reliable. Although statistics prove that 98% of the time, search dogs, whether scent or cadaver, hit and are correct.
You have a canine is going to pick up a scent, and it's just kind of well established. But now,
yes, fruit fly. Chris said they're only 25% accurate. But that's what someone would say to discredit the truth.
That weekend, and this is what the whole thing is with a whole bunch of neighbors. We never really okay. Now, if we watch each other's houses, like if we're watching, and like if we see something strange, but there isn't one that have said that they saw something strange.
Okay. And this is important because they didn't really see anything strange, except that Chris Proudfeet wasn't home that weekend. Because before, he would cut out of work early, come home sometime on Thursday, and then leave Sunday evening or early Monday morning. But the weekend, Sebastian goes missing. And we already know that he said either he goes or I go.
Yep.
He told Katie Proudfeet that this marriage isn't going to work out. Something about Sebastian rubs Chrissy Poo the wrong way.
Sure does.
And all of it just makes me sick.
Me too. I have to say too, when you were talking to him, you got a lot of information out of him. But whenever I talked to him as well, he was very forthcoming. Like every question I had, there was no hesitation. He's really seemed to be he wanted the truth to be known. You know what I mean? That was the take that I got from him. So I really do believe, and like he said, he's a retired fighter pilot. This is a legit person. You know what I mean? This isn't just some random that we get sometimes on the internet that wants to insert themselves into something. You know what I mean?
No, and I mean, I've seen a couple of comments in here saying this is just neighborhood gossip. Listen, I understand neighborhood gossip, and I understand when the FBI and different agencies give you a card and say, we are going to need all of your camera footage. That is a little more than shooting the shit over the fence, period.
Yes.
And, a couple of the attitudes that I'm seeing in here, that is the reason people do not speak out and they don't do what they should do.
Right. That's true.
And
9 months ago, guys, we're at 11 months. 2 months after he went missing, trolls were on the rampage. Insane, crazy. But we're going to stop it here. They go on to talk a little more. And so I wanted y'all to hear those words that were being said. I wanted everybody to understand what Sebastian's life in that home was like. I wanted to show a little more of what Sebastian had to live with. It's insane. You see the pictures of this child. He has the biggest smile I think I've ever seen. You just fall in love with that smile. We know he had the autism. He thought differently. His way of thinking was completely different. He had the chromosome deletion. That made him very vulnerable. Sebastian was very special. And I say that in a loving way because of the combination of things. It made him very precious. His life meant something. even though he had those two things to deal with. His life meant something. And yet his stepfather clearly stated for others to hear just weeks prior that it was either Sebastian goes or he goes. He is so egotistical that he's going to assume that his wife would choose him over her child. And Sebastian comes up missing. He never left the home that we can see. Everything in this case leads to him being taken out of that home. There is no footage of him walking away. There is no footage of him running out the front door. There is no footage of him anywhere in that neighborhood after the trash was taken out. Nothing. And when you hear everything that we just listened to, and the words that came from Chris Proudfoot that a neighbor heard, that's how loud he was, saying, Sebastian leaves or I leave. You can't help but think Katie made the choice. Her marriage was more important to her than her child. It's too coincidental. There is so many other cases in the past that we've heard of, that we've followed, that we've watched documentaries on, where words were said and then it happened. And you can't help but assume that's exactly what happened. And it's sad. It is so heartbreaking to think that a mother would make that choice. Because those of us who are mothers could never think of doing that. But for whatever reason, a choice, I'm afraid, was made for Sebastian. He had no choice in the matter. Once his mother possibly made up her mind and chose, Sebastian didn't have a choice in it. Although he himself, in his mind, probably never thought that he was doing anything wrong, that he wasn't being bad. But to people who didn't understand him and didn't care to get to know him as the person he was, they couldn't do it. They couldn't handle it. And we heard yesterday about how the grandparents were so cruel, who would just as soon as get rid of a person than to have to deal with them. It's the kind of people they are, we're told. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree most of the time. And yes, Brandy, they just wrote him off rather than teach and nurture him. Yes, that is my opinion as well. It's sad when you stop and think about it. Sebastian seemed okay. He seemed normal. We saw the video of him hours before he disappears. It breaks my heart to watch that video because first time I watched it, I was so enraged with anger because for all those 10 months, we had been looking for a small, young Sebastian because that's what was portrayed to us. I was looking for a kid who stayed up in your bubble, way too close up to you in your comfort zone, because that's what we were told. We were told how, yes, I'm sorry, can y'all hear her? The kids are downstairs and she's up here. But we're told about a kid who had no table manners whatsoever. It was embarrassing to go out to eat with him. All these things. But what we saw was a young man, nearly the height of his mother, who waited for his mother to sit down first, to let the waitress do her thing and move before he sat down. He got his napkin, he put it over his lap. He looked at his menu. He had a little conversation with his mother. He leaned in slightly, but never once did he get up all in her personal space. Never. He ate like he was very hungry. He kept it all in his bowl and he made sure to keep it all in his bowl. That is not a child who ate and was embarrassing to take out to eat. None of that we saw. And we only saw 4 minutes of that video. We didn't see the whole thing. But from everything we saw, Sebastian had manners. He was a great young man. He had manners. He was nothing like what we were shown and told by his mother and stepfather. There are people in this world that have issues themselves, who want to be a person of great importance. There are people in this world who want to have everyone around them bow down to them. And yet their shortcomings, they put off on others. And I'm starting to believe that that's exactly what's happened in Sebastian's life. His stepfather is a man who wants control, a man who has to have things his way. You can tell that just by his conversations. He's a very dominant person. And Sebastian did not meet up to his standards. Sebastian, he felt, was in the way of him getting custody because after 7 years, there had to be a reason. And surely it wasn't his fault that he didn't get custody of his daughter. Surely his actions was not the reason. There had to have been something else. And in my opinion, that's how I feel about the whole situation. I feel like Sebastian, in Chris's mind, needed to be gone, and that would make everything okay for him to get custody. And in order for that to happen, he had to portray this child in a very bad light. And when he portrayed this child to his family, it was never in a good way. They didn't see Sebastian as a good person. He was a nuisance. He was in the way. And Mr. Chris comes down to it, and the neighbors actually hear the words. It's Sebastian leaves, either Sebastian leaves or I leave. And he was mad and he was loud when he said it. Weeks before Sebastian disappears. I don't know how much plainer things can be when we've heard lie after lie after lie. We've heard the mother and the stepfather tell us stories that were not true. Mr. Chris was not there and had not seen Sebastian since the 1st of February, but we know that the week 2 or 3, he was there at a teacher's meeting for Sebastian, about Sebastian. He was there. He was eating at Texas Roadhouse just 2 weeks prior to Sebastian going missing. And he got angry. Mr. Chris did not like something that happened. And he got loud and they left. Ziva, come. Sorry, guys. But that's Sebastian's life. He had to live. He had to live with that. He had to be in a home with a person who could care less about who he actually was. Ziva, no. Lay down. Lay down, okay? Sorry, guys. But Sebastian's life mattered. He mattered. He was important. His father cherished this child. To the father, this child meant everything. But the stepfather and his mother made a choice. And they could care less about the father's feelings. Instead of taking him that day, that night, to his father's house, met him when he got off of work and said, take him, we can't do him. We can't handle him. Take him now. They couldn't admit that they had had enough. They couldn't admit that Mr. Chris gave an ultimatum and Katie had to have her marriage more than she had to have her son. They couldn't do that. Their egos were too important to them. So they did something to Sebastian because he didn't make the choice to leave. It was made for him. If Seth would have had a choice that day, we wouldn't all be here learning about Sebastian and the life that he had to endure in that home. We wouldn't know anything about Seth. We wouldn't know anything about Katie or Chris or his family. We wouldn't know about Katie's family. Because Sebastian would be living happily with his father, who actually loved him more than life, and who still prays daily for the return of his son. While the mother and the stepfather have a criminal lawyer hired, have pleaded the fifth and are no longer talking to anyone about Sebastian. It speaks volumes when you hear people talk outside of the home and tell you how Mr. Chris was, because he was not quiet about it. It was his way or no way. And Katie made the choice. And that, my friends, is my opinion. So now all we can do is pray for justice for Sebastian, because someone or someone's need to pay for what they've done to this child. And with that, I'm going to tell you all happy Valentine's Day. I love you all. I thank you so much for being here. Anyone on the replay, happy Valentine's Day to you. You are all so special. And I'm going to get out of here so I can go help her get ready for her Valentine's dance. So have a great night, everyone. Remember Sebastian. Remember that he matters. His life matters to us. Although it obviously didn't matter to his mother and stepfather, because the choice, it seems, was made for him. Thank you all for being here, supporting me, supporting this channel. I love you guys so much. Mwah. Love and hugs. See you tomorrow. Bye.